Good morning to you from Albuquerque and Connecticut and Maryland, Oregon, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Tucson. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Morristown, New Jersey. And from my hometown, Santa Rosa, too. It's wonderful to see everyone signing on. This is our 6 a.m. moment. I call it a devotional, a moment of inspiration, contemplation, and affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. Alberta, Canada, thank you for joining us. Colorado, good morning, welcome. And there I see Reverend Nan Bankston, who has an important ceremony coming up soon. Southeast Portland, thank you for joining us. And thank you to those people who are sending me pictures of their candle lighting at home. It just warms my heart. We are using 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily wisdom from Ernest Holmes to guide us through the year. And some of you have been joining me since before the beginning of the year when we started this practice. I thank you for that. And my intention is to carry on through the whole year. And some of you have let me know you intend to stay the course with me. And I thank you for that. I've recently started using the Kindle version, as you may see in the reflection from my classes. These are non-reflective, and I find it very useful to read. Yesterday, reading, I forgot to mention the quote at the beginning of the reading for the 22nd yesterday. It was Matthew 13, and it comes from that part of the scripture that talks about the parables of Jesus, and this particular one is the treasure hidden in the field. Now, perhaps you are familiar with the parables of Jesus because you grew up in a Christian tradition, or perhaps you don't know anything about them at all. So I will give a resource today that is good for people, regardless of what faith tradition they grew up in, to learn about the metaphysical application of the parables. A wonderful metaphysical author, Irvin Seal, is my go-to source. Here I will put the name of his book, Learn to Live, The Meaning of the Parables by Irvin Seal. And there's a very old book, but the treatment of the parables in a metaphysical light is just marvelous. The layers of interpretation of the parables are related to the layers of consciousness. And so I forgot to mention that yesterday, and I share it with you today. Now, today's reading for the 21st of April is started off with a quote from Psalm 104, which is an interesting and wonderful psalm. It is a song of praise. And what is interesting about it to me is, well, first of all, there's a lot of imagery in the psalm I don't understand. So I'll just say that right up front. But what I do see in the psalm is that it moves between addressing the divine and then talking about the divine. So from thee to this inward appreciation, and it resembles the way we do our affirmative prayer in that it is a description of the high holy attributes of divinity according to the author of the psalm. And that's what we do. When we begin our affirmative prayer, we begin with getting settled, and then to the best of our ability, describing what the divine is, understanding that the divine is beyond words, beyond concepts, beyond qualities, beyond names, and yet what we have to work with in this human form is words, concepts, and descriptions. So we begin where we are. It's as if we are pointing in the direction of that which cannot be contained. So in that regard, the psalm is a reminder to let our hearts open, our souls soar when we are describing the divine in our affirmative prayer practice. So here is the reading for today. May our minds be so open to the infinite abundance of love and beauty, compassion and goodness, simplicity and sincerity, that it flows through us and around the world, bringing back, as it must, the joy that is the divine. Let our song, see, like the psalm, let our song be full, and let all of the weight and the burdens fall away as we face the bright light, the sun that is the divine. For this moment in devotion, let us drop the fear voices just for a moment, the doubt for a moment. Let it still for a moment. Even our sense of pain, if we're experiencing it, just for the moment, not denying that it is there, but so that in this practice time we can identify ourselves, like the psalmist is doing, with this everywhere present power, the living spirit, which is turning out to be my favorite phrase to use to describe the divine. Let us commune with that presence, that spirit, and use the power and the beauty and quiet of this moment. Now, Ernest Holmes here does kind of what the psalmist does, from talking about the divine, and now it's almost as if he's talking to the divine. Let us give Ernest Holmes the benefit of the doubt that he understands that that presence is within. And so when he talks to the divine, he's talking to a presence that is very imminent and close. Breathe into us, he says, O eternal spirit. Breathe into us everything that stands for beauty, everything that is warm and colorful. Breathe into us the artistry of life and the certainty of love and the friendship. And then he says, this is very beautiful, impregnate our souls now with thy spirit, planted in us. See, this is quite unusual language for New Thought tradition, and yet Ernest Holmes used it quite liberally. This thou relationship with the divine, meaning a presence within. He says, infinite spirit within and around us, we feel thy presence in our souls. Now we can personalize that and make it in the first person. Infinite spirit within me and around me, I feel thy presence in my soul. And then he says that formula that is so powerful. There is one life, and that life is the divine. There is one perfect presence, and it is good. Infinite spirit within us, eternal presence. I am that which thou art, and thou art that which I am. And then he says, let us turn to that divine and radiant center of life and consciously unify ourselves with its great love. And that is the invitation to prayer. So let us do that then. Let us turn within. Of course, there really isn't a within or a without. There is no turning. So whether you close your eyes, keep them open, we are in the presence of the divine. And so I use these words from a colleague to offer our spiritual mind treatment practice today. One creative intelligence, the maker of everything that is seen and everything that is yet to be seen. One creative intelligence, maker of all that is known and all that is yet to be known. One creative intelligence that is the ebb and flow of all existence. One creative intelligence equally present in every space and time. One creative intelligence providing itself to and through all of its creation. One creative intelligence, the source of peace, love, joy, purpose, and everything that is, rich and lavish, goodness and abundance, everywhere present. I am part of this creative intelligence. This I hold to be the truth of my existence. I am part of this creative intelligence. Its life lives through me. I am part of this creative intelligence. I live and breathe, and the purpose of my being is rooted in it. I am part of this creative intelligence, and I allow its goodness to pour through me in the most natural and practical ways. And so today, I commit to lace joy and beauty and love through my words, and also through my thoughts, and also through my tasks. Today, I dedicate myself to share the sacredness that is my life, and to share it in every direction I may, whether that is through my smile, or through my helping hands, or through my loving kindness. Today, as I go about the world, I bless my community with grace and empathy and compassion. And I'm going to pause right now so that I can take into my awareness the people of Ukraine, so that they do not become forgotten as the world marches on, so that I lace compassion and empathy and love into my heart and my thoughts about our community in Ukraine. And I open my heart to remember that though I am free and safe, that many people in the world are not free and safe. And so to lace through my thoughts compassion and empathy so that they do not become forgotten. Today, I celebrate this, my connection to all life, and I humbly take this responsibility to still myself, to root myself in the presence of goodness and the presence of love. I humbly accept my role in knowing the truth and translating this one infinite creative mind into action and words today. With this then, this knowing, I release these words into the law that always provides a sublime response in the affirmative. And I seal that in my own consciousness by saying, and so it is. I thank you very much for joining me this morning. And I look forward to checking in on the recording at the end of the day, because by the end of the day, the number of people who have viewed and participated and commented escalated astronomically. So I know that there are people in other time zones that are joining at their own pace and time. And so to those people who join us later, I feel you as part of our community, whatever time you're joining. Thank you also in advance to all of you who are sharing this post. And I thank you for the feedback about using the World Ministry of Prayer. The practitioners there are delighted that we are reaching out to them to use the service, and the link for the service is in the description of this broadcast. Give it a try. Call the World Ministry of Prayer and let someone partner with you with a tailor-made personal prayer for you. Have a beautiful day.